Beijing Fires, the untold story of the low-end population clearance. BMW Ice Cream Incident at Shanghai Auto Show sparks public ridicule for blindly worshipping foreigners. FBI arrests CCP agents targeting Falun Gong, Chinese dissidents. Report: 6 more illegal Chinese police stations operating in U.S. territory. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Beijing Fires, the untold story of the low-end population clearance. A political narrative behind the recent massive fires in Beijing has been analyzed by an expert from the NTD TV channel's Stone Mountain Angle. The details are shocking, and it's worth diving into them. On April 18, a devastating fire broke out at Changfeng Hospital in Beijing, resulting in the tragic loss of at least 29 lives. However, the expert couldn't help but recall 2 other major fires that occurred 5 years ago, leading to the Chinese government's clearance of the low-end population in Beijing. This resulted in hundreds of thousands of people being forced out of their homes, even in harsh winter conditions and beyond Beijing's city limits. So, who should be held accountable for the most recent fire, and who should be cleared and evicted from Beijing now? Let's first take a look at the fires that occurred in Beijing 5 years ago. On November 10, 2017, shortly after the end of U.S. President Trump's visit to Beijing, his Air Force One departed from Capital Airport at approximately 10 a.m., en route to Da Nang, Vietnam, for the APEC summit. Meanwhile, Xi Jinping was also on his way to Vietnam for the same summit, taking off about an hour and a half after Trump's plane. As Xi Jinping's plane was leaving, he noticed a massive black smoke rising from the east of the airport. His staff informed him that they had contacted Beijing and that the smoke was from a fire at an outbound warehouse in Liqiao Town, Shuani District, Beijing, which had already been extinguished. As he remembered that Trump's plane had just departed and must have seen the black smoke rising, Xi Jinping became extremely upset and left a remark about losing face. This comment caused significant pressure when it reached the Beijing Municipal Party Committee. On November 15, after attending the APEC summit and visiting Vietnam and Laos, Xi Jinping returned to Beijing. On the 18th, a major fire broke out in Xinjianer Village, Zihongmen Town, Daxing District, Beijing, causing 19 deaths and 8 injuries. These 2 incidents prompted swift action from the Beijing Municipal Party Committee. The next day, led by Kai Chi, Beijing officials held a TV and phone conference to deploy a special operation to comprehensively investigate and clean up all hidden safety hazards in the city, with a particular focus on fire safety. Several measures have been taken to thoroughly eliminate safety hazards. Kai Chi, who had recently become the secretary of the Beijing Municipal Party Committee, subsequently said in a meeting the now famous and controversial words, "When we reach the grassroots level, it's a real battle with real swords and guns, where the bayonet is used, and where tough measures are needed. No matter what happens, it is a big deal in Beijing." After launching a 40-day inspection campaign, a large number of warehousing and freight transport companies were affected in Beijing. The campaign claimed to have investigated over 25,000 hidden safety hazards and resulted in tens of thousands of low-end population being evicted from their homes during the harsh winter and driven out of Beijing. This incident, known as the movement to clear out the low-end population, caused a significant reaction both domestically and internationally. The Beijing Municipal Committee came forward to explain that the focus was on clearing out safety hazards, not clearing out the low-end population. According to Beijing experts, there are no low-end populations, only low-end industries. So, with the recent serious fire at Changfeng Hospital in Beijing, should they also clear out the low-end industry or low-end enterprises, according to the logic of the Beijing Municipal Committee? Perhaps without the endorsement of the U.S. President, the Changfeng Hospital fire would not have been so important. Although there have been many analytical reports on the fire accident at Changfeng Hospital, the focus is on Kai Chi. He led the action to clear out the low-end population in Beijing, which caused negative public opinion domestically and internationally. However, this did not affect his promotion to the Politburo Standing Committee at the Chinese Communist Party's 20th National Congress, ranking 5th after Xi Jinping, Li Keqiang, Zhao Leji, and Wang Huning in charge of propaganda theory. He has also taken over the position of Secretary of the Secretariat of the Central Office. Cai Chi achieved a rapid promotion by skipping 2 levels, and this was made possible not only because he is a confidant of Xi Jinping and a member of the Zhejiang New Army but also because he is ruthless enough. Cai Chi was a sent-down youth and a student of the Worker Peasant Soldier University, majoring in political work at Fujian Normal University. It seems that he possessed the spirit of criticism and struggle typical of young people during the Cultural Revolution. His ruthlessness was demonstrated in his speech at the meeting on cleaning up the low-end population in Beijing. Using ruthless and confrontational language, he said that if there were problems, they should cut off an arm. Such language is something that officials with an intellectual background would probably not use. All dictators need tough and ruthless henchmen under them. In November 2017, the fire in Daxing became a crucial opportunity. After the fire, a total of 21 party and government officials in Daxing district were disciplined, including the Daxing district governor, deputy district governor, and the party secretary and mayor of Zhejiang town. This campaign served as a pretext for clearing out the low-end population, but its main objective was to purge officials who were dissatisfied with the current state of affairs. As a result, Cai Chi, acting as Xi Jinping's representative in Beijing, essentially gained complete control of the city and became the iron-blooded tool of Xi Jinping. Apart from Xi Jinping and Li Chang, the real power is essentially in the hands of Cai Chi. Because Cai Chi's role is mainly to eliminate internal dissent, especially various noises within the central organs of the party, his role is somewhat similar to that of Kang Sheng under Mao Zedong. Therefore, in the case of the recent fire at Changfeng Hospital in Beijing, no one will be cleared, no one will be investigated, and even various doubts from the public will be suppressed and blocked. The reason is simple: Beijing today is not the same as Beijing in 2017. After power has been firmly grasped, there is no longer a need for purges and questioning. During Mao Zedong's era, Kang Sheng was mainly in charge of internal cleansing. This role was very despised, so after Deng Xiaoping came to power, Kang Sheng, who had already passed away, was expelled from the party and his ashes were moved out of Babaishan Cemetery. The experts stated that Cai Chi is probably not going to be so lucky. BMW Ice Cream Incident at Shanghai Auto Show sparks public ridicule for blindly worshipping foreigners. According to NTD-TV, a video circulating online on the afternoon of April 19 shows complimentary ice cream being handed out at the BMW Mini booth at the Shanghai Auto Show. When 2 Chinese girls approached and asked for ice cream, they were told it had already run out. However, a few seconds later, a foreign man arrived and asked for ice cream as well. The 2 female BMW employees eagerly handed him ice cream and even showed him how to open the packaging. This incident of the BMW staff treating Chinese and foreign visitors differently was caught on camera and quickly spread on Weibo, leading to public criticism. On the 20th, BMW issued an apology and removed the ice cream from the Mini booth. Many Chinese netizens were outraged by the incident. One netizen said, "If there hadn't been a video recording, you might have thought this was a hoax." A small event at a car show divided people into classes. Officials always give preferential treatment to foreigners, and ordinary citizens just follow their example. It's obvious where the problem lies. Chasing after foreign things and fawning over foreigners, treating them differently from the rest of us, is a top-down issue. Foreign students are granted privileges that go beyond what Chinese citizens receive. In recent years, the Chinese government has been excessively favoring foreigners, leading to foreign students enjoying a supranational treatment, which has sparked strong social dissatisfaction. On July 6, 2018, a netizen revealed on Weibo that Shandong University provided 3 Chinese female companions for each international student, causing an uproar nationwide. Later, a Shandong University female companion exposed that in order to receive the school's subsidy to become a companion, at a gathering of international students, 1 female companion was beaten and insulted and several people went to have abortions. Although the whole school knew about it, the school still sided with the international students. Other netizens revealed that Shandong University conducted political inspections on female students who applied to be companions, and only those without any family background were selected. If a female companion was raped or had an abortion by an African international student, as long as it was not exposed, the female student and all the roommates in the dormitory would be guaranteed admission to graduate school. Not only Shandong University, but also many other universities, such as Nanjing University, Jilin University, and Sun Yat-sen University, have implemented the International Student Companion Project. Netizens criticized, "This is prostitution." Were these shameless regulations proposed by humans or universities? In addition, as previously reported, the Chinese Ministry of Education provides high scholarships to foreign students, and the dormitories for foreign students are better than those for Chinese students, and they are given special convenience in learning and exams. The authorities' special treatment of foreign students has caused widespread social dissatisfaction. Xi Jinping offers condolences for overseas earthquake while remaining silent on deadly fire in Xinjiang. In November 2022, a residential building in Urumqi, Xinjiang, suddenly caught fire, resulting in the deaths and injuries of numerous individuals. However, Chinese leader Xi Jinping did not respond to the incident, but instead offered condolences for an earthquake in the Solomon Islands in the South Pacific. This drew criticism from mainland netizens and led Weibo to urgently delete comments. Some netizens expressed their discontent, writing, "He didn't visit Shanghai when it was locked down, didn't hear about the Guizhou bus accident, and doesn't care about the Xinjiang fire, but he is quick to offer condolences for the Solomon Islands. So many people died in the Xinjiang fire, yet there wasn't even a word of consolation. Are the people of China not deserving of condolences?" Economist Li Henqing tweeted, "Xi Jinping offers condolences to Indonesian earthquake victims 1 minute, and then condolences to Solomon Island disaster victims the next. Why doesn't he ask about the Zhengzhou pandemic refugees? Why doesn't he ask about the Urumqi fire victims? Many parts of China have entered lockdown again, and people are even worried about their meals. Local officials ask the public for understanding and pledge to persist in eliminating the virus. I ask, who is Xi Jinping, the leader of which country?" A Twitter user replied, "Chinese people are slaves to the state, do they really need condolences? When something happens, the government just maintains stability, and that's all that matters." FBI arrests CCP agents targeting Falun Gong, Chinese dissidents. On April 17, 2023, the FBI arrested 2 U.S. citizens, Harry Liu Jianwang and Chen Jinping, for operating as foreign government agents under the Chinese Communist Party since at least 2015. The agents allegedly operated an undeclared police station in New York City on behalf of the Fuzhou Municipal Public Security Bureau, which was set up in February 2022 to carry out transnational repression against Falun Gong practitioners and other dissident communities around the world. According to the indictment, during Xi Jinping's visit to Washington, D.C., in 2015, Liu also organized and paid counter-protesters to surround and drown out the voices of Falun Gong practitioners who were peacefully demonstrating. For Liu's work on the protests, he received a plaque from the then deputy director of the MPS, listed as MPS Official 2 in the indictment. MPS Official 2 is suspected to be closely involved with the 610 Office, an extralegal CCP agency charged with leading the anti-Falun Gong campaign. The indictment against the pair explains that, according to the U.S. Department of State's 2021 report on international religious freedom, the Chinese Communist Party maintains an extralegal, party-run security apparatus to eliminate the Falun Gong movement, using methods ranging from harassment to imprisonment. According to a report by the Safeguard Defenders, Falun Gong practitioners outside of the PRC are also the subjects of intimidation by the PRC government and its allied organizations. Levi Broud, executive director of the Falun Dafa Information Center, said, "It's significant and encouraging to see such serious legal action being taken against Chinese officials engaging in transnational repression on U.S. soil, including against Falun Gong practitioners. The actions these individuals are charged with are just the tip of the iceberg. For the past 23 years, Falun Gong practitioners in the United States have been targeted with death threats, physical assaults, home break-ins, online harassment, interference on university campuses, obstruction to business and livelihood, as well as intimidation of relatives in China, all at the behest of the Chinese Communist Party. The falsehoods and intimidation that these CCP agents spread have a real-world impact on Americans, suppressing basic rights, inciting unfounded hatred among the Chinese diaspora and broader society, and propelling forward the CCP's goal of international silence about one of the worst campaigns of religious persecution in the world today. This indictment, along with the same-day indictment of 40 officials in China involved in the CCP's propaganda campaign online, sends a clear message to current MPS authorities, Chinese officials, and undeclared foreign agents of the CCP in the United States. If you try to impose your thuggish tyranny in the U.S., you will be arrested, and justice will be served. Report: 6 more illegal Chinese police stations operating in U.S. territory. In addition to the recently busted Chinese police station in New York City, a new report by a human rights organization called the Safeguard Defenders claims there are at least 6 illegal Chinese police stations in cities across the U.S. Furthermore, the report exposed the presence of an outpost in Los Angeles. Last year, the same group published a report documenting 100 covert Chinese police stations operating globally. A spokesperson for Safeguard Defenders told the Post on Tuesday, "We found at least 4 listed in the U.S. by PRC, People's Republic of China, public security authorities, plus flagged an additional 4 overseas Chinese service centers in the U.S. set up by the UFWD networks responsible for manning the stations." Apart from the cities of New York and Los Angeles, Safeguard Defenders has identified several other locations in the United States where Chinese overseas service stations operate, including San Francisco, Houston, Nebraska, and Minnesota. These stations are covertly run by the CCP and are responsible for conducting surveillance on Chinese citizens across the globe. In a statement, the FBI Houston said, "We're increasingly conducting outreach in order to raise awareness of how some countries' governments harass and intimidate their own citizens living in the U.S. This violates U.S. law and individual rights and freedoms and will not be tolerated." Don't forget to comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.